2.
You did 2.
Possible way.
You did 2 like this. Not like this.
I don't know why here's my thing. I don't know why I ever thought I had to mess with her with it. All I have to do is just do what I'm doing and make her overthink it. Welcome everybody to the Natural Ones. We're happy you're here. We're dying apparently from our own jokes.
5, 4, 3, 2,
1. This one. God. Incredible. I should have asked this before, but
I'm just confused.
I'm just confused. We're gonna basically just kind of like run right into it today. There's nothing really to say from the start, except for that. I hope you enjoy that.
Oh, also, Chris had an announcement to make. Hey, Chris. Hey, are you tired of your players acting like they know everything in the source book? Well, I got something for you. Underground Oracle supplements will let you throw stuff they've never even heard of into the game. We're giving away not 1, not 1.5, but 2 bundles. Each bundle comes with 5 supplements, and we'll be picking a winner for both at the halftime of this episode. If you want a chance to win 1, or potentially 2, if you take out the competition, all you gotta do is be active in chat, and you'll be eligible for these 2 fantastic bundles. The first one is the Creature Copia bundle. It's full of all kinds of creatures that our friends over at Underground Oracle have made. You've got stuff like the Mouseling, which is a race of little tiny mouse fae creatures. They're fantastic. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you got stuff like the Zarlfus, a creature that is made specifically to hunt down adventurers. And I know what you're thinking. I don't like DMing, I just like to play. Well, our other bundle is for the players. The spell bundle contains 5 different class-specific spell packs. We got stuff for druids, we got stuff for rangers, we got stuff for bards, you name it. It's there if it's within the 5 classes that we're offering in this bundle. Underground Oracle specializes in content that's not only interesting mechanically, but is great for world building and interesting little roleplay scenarios. With that, I've been Chris, and this job is the only thing keeping a roof over my head. Back to you, Chris. Thanks, Chris. So be sure you're active in chat for that giveaway.
Yeah.
Get him!
God damn, I hate that guy. He always interrupts.
I thought we fired him.
Yeah, I thought we did. Last time he did this.
I just took him off the payroll. He hasn't even noticed.
Okay, yeah. He doesn't watch the
idiot.
episodes.
Wait,
Yeah.
there's a payroll?
That's what I said.
Wait.
Wait.
This is the last episode of the Natural Ones.
Before we shutter indefinitely.
Yeah.
So previously, what we have seen is the group has saved Miles's city. Oh, sorry, Liam's hometown of Harrow.
Whoa, how'd they do that?
A lot of fun things, to be honest, that you probably already saw in the recap. But I was just trying to say, for the sake of this, what we are facing at this moment is the group having to come to terms with the idea of how best to help this city.
We also got to work our way through a dinner.
That's what I was basically going to say. It was that through this dinner, that is what you are currently enacting. You are all still outside of the tower currently, having just kind of contemplated the idea of we've got a dinner to kind of discuss things with the mayor, Charlie Tybalt. The Hammerfists are also going to be there. I believe the general said he would be there. So it's kind of a sub-council meeting on top of an actual just dinner.
Oh. Do the Doms get to eat as well? Or...
Whenever you're ready to start is the point.
I've been ready. Let's go.
Okay.
Chelsea's trying so hard not to laugh.
Yeah.
I was
like
only
swallowing
funny
She
her
because
doesn't want you
then
to
you
give.
were
She
like,
wasn't going to give you the satisfaction.
I didn't want to give the satisfaction, but then he was like, whenever you're ready to start, and you're like, I'm very ready. Like, yeah, subs, let's go.
I've been.
You guys have a few hours before the dinner actually starts. If you guys needed to discuss anything prior to the dinner with each other, but essentially nobody else is going to be available to talk until the dinner. Probably. Probably only your parents, Liam, and it would probably do like if you had wanted to talk to them alone, that would be the only time before the dinner.
I mean, before this dinner isn't a bad time to try and have that conversation I was looking to.
Sure.
Alright. Yeah, so I guess I have this thing recently where I want to just say the things that I'm doing instead of role-playing them, because of anxiety.
Here's the thing.
That's not how we
I
do
mean, but gathering them to talk with your parents, like you're telling the group essentially that you have something, you have a thought on something, and you want it to be, not around prying eyes or ears, or just in the solitude of your guys' home. You kind of want to just take a second. So to the rest of you, that is what is being told to you as you enter the Hammerfist's home. Your folks kind of waiting at the table. It seems like they were kind of in a light conversation anyway. They're just kind of sitting and discussing with each other. He's kind of filling her in on what was just happening in the tower. So, as you enter, they don't like shut up or like hush up at anything. They just notice you enter and start to change the conversation to give you.
And we're all there?
Yeah,
we're all
yeah.
there?
Everybody would be there at this moment. You all left the tower together, so you would all be here together.
Cool.
Alright, you all know me, you know what I do for this town. That's not how I started it. Hey, everyone. I had something I wanted to talk to you all about real quick. Y'all do know me. I don't love beating around the bush about things, so I'm just gonna come out and say it. You guys, my group, who I've been traveling with for a while, we have a responsibility and goals and secrets. And you, my folks, you have responsibility and goals and secrets. And I personally believe that we can help each other. I think a lot of the knowledge that each group has and the things we know can be beneficial in what everyone's trying to do. And I think that we should work together to do it. I suppose it all just comes down to me asking both groups to trust me enough to trust the other chunk of this conversation. So, I'd like to both y'all, I'd like to let the other people in the room know what we're trying to do and what we have at our disposal.
I personally am comfortable with your parents being informed of what we've been up to as well. I can't speak for everybody else, but I believe that they're good people.
To speak frank, son, your friends seem decent, trustworthy. If you say you journeyed under Sistad and Hills of Madness and Plague Marshes, hell itself with these people, no reason we can't trust them either. It's just, I suppose, the more that know about it, the more chance there is for the information to leak, and so suppose the first thing we would say is nothing leaves this table that shouldn't. Is that agreed?
Sure. I don't have anybody else to talk to anyways.
Flanagan just... Oh.
Oh, Flanagan. We got Flanagan inside?
No, he's outside, but he heard you. And
He just felt it.
He just knew what you were saying, and he's just like, well, I guess I shouldn't expect that. But.
Anyone have any complaints or other stipulations? I'm comfortable with that one personally.
Seems fine with us, then.
I suppose the only other thing I can think of is Yvonne, I suppose. Would that be...
I think that's a decision they can make if they meet Yvonne. If they think it would be useful or good if that occurred. Yeah.
That's fair.
She has a sending stone. You could ask her.
Oh, I know, but I think my folks shouldn't probably if we do this thing, and I think that's a bridge we can cross later.
Anyone else we add is, if it comes from the people in this room, we have to assume that they've been vetted. Doesn't seem a bad choice to leave them out of it for now. Make sure we know what we're doing before we invite anybody else in.
Sure.
I appreciate it. So now I guess I'm specifically looking at Nameless, Cellulose, and Click Whistle, because they're the ones I don't have responses from yet.
I am fine with this. I really only tell information to you guys anyway, so I think we should all get everything out in the open.
Maybe not everything, but most things.
Yeah, we'll keep a couple things.
I mean, they're your parents, so they deserve to know as much as you want to tell them.
All right. Where to start? So I've been traveling with these folks for a while.
Also, if you want, you're more than welcome to not have to say this in character right now if it's going to be easier for you to kind of like put your idea on the table.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense.
You know, like I won't begrudge you a momentary of like you just want to say your plan. That'd be great. That'd be fine.
Yeah, I think just taking a second, getting everyone caught up. Maybe like a little more detail about the other stones we've seen. Tell them a bit about the house. That's how we've been traveling. And tell them our basic goal, which is we've come across Kalendh. They seem very dangerous, and we've taken it upon ourselves to see if we can do something about them. And then also let the group know about the stone, which you all heard about out of character. So.
The stone beneath Harrow.
Yeah, the stone beneath Harrow. Just kind of... I also do think, like, I'd love to... try and set up a time. I'd love to show my parents the house at some point, mostly because I think Mom could potentially help with figuring out some of the stuff there, and I also want to I guess lay out the idea that I do feel like I'm on this quest and this journey that we're all on as a group, but I do feel responsible for my home, especially with the danger that the stone causes, and I'd like to have a way to get back here. And I kind of want to pitch to the group, trying to figure out how to build a new door and put one in Harrow for me so I can be here without being apart from you guys.
I like this idea. I feel like if we're going to try to do that, we might have to loop in Yvonne. I feel like she's going to understand how to make a door better than any of us.
Probably.
but
Right?
And I'll let you know now, son. It's not really my field. I can't say. The way you've described the mansion itself is something I've read about once or twice for sure, but it's not anything. My field of study is much more grounded in the lodestones themselves. I don't know how much I could help on a mechanical level of what you're talking about.
I mean, it wasn't really any of our fields as part of the thing. I mean, Yvonne has studied some of the older technology and she's been super useful, but us coming across the house is really the first time I ever had to deal with anything like this. It's something we've kind of had to learn to specialize in through doing, so...
you go, tell Olivia.
I mean, I have to talk to Yvonne. I have a question about the house and its security. So if you want to come with me when all of this is over, we can go ask her about the door together.
Don't forget, you do again, as Nameless has suggested. She does have a sending stone.
Yeah.
So it's like a 2-hour walk to the mansion. So just keep that in mind when thinking about this stuff.
You studied in Sested, right?
Yes, I did.
Did you have any knowledge of the stone underneath the city, or is that something they kept a secret?
No, I certainly did. I was part of the first. Well, not the first, but I was part of one of the original research teams the college enacted. The stone had been used at the city's founding, but not much had been really used to delve into it, understand it, until my class came along, and we studied it for a few years before we came up with the info we had. I came home to, on one hand, to help my father at the time, but also because I had experienced something similar as a girl in those caves as to what I saw under Sested, so I came back with the hopes of potentially finding something, and I found it. And then when I did, I knew I had to stay. So.
Is the college aware of these other stones as well, or do they just know about the one under Sested?
The most I can tell you is that they're certainly aware of their existences. There's a mere stone is it has a particular fielded presence around it. It is something that they tether together in certain ways, but most of those ways aren't always capable of. They're not exactly capable of pinpointing towards another one. Right, it's not something where like the tether is something you could follow to another one. It's just more of stability for all kind of a connection. So stop it. Jesus. Go.
I have some suspicions regarding the mirror stones. I was thinking about going and asking to take a look at the one under Sested again, to sort of follow up on a few theories I have. Is this something you all think you'd be interested in? Or?
I mean, I want to see the others.
I don't know
Mirrors.
if it'll help us find the others, but
I mean, if you can get permission to go do that, more power to you.
all right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, one of the resources at our disposal too, Mo, is that if at any point you'd like to do any research or make contact with people or get any resources from Sestead, we now have a way to do that.
Which
so
is
if you'd like to,
truly, it's truly incredible, son. It's not. I don't know how much I'd advise it for myself or your father, but it's good to know. It's good to know we have a. If anything, if you're in contact with Sestead, that should be enough. We could send letters through you or resource gathering through you. I think the more suspicious is if people I know saw me walking about Sestead. It's not really it's not advisable. They know where I've been for a number of years now. It would seem odd.
fair enough.
Might as well keep this as subterfuge as we can. Especially if you're willing to go against orders from Sestead and the college itself.
Either way, I think looking for a way to make a door is a good first step, if only because Robin was fairly clear about this whole situation not exactly being over. And
Yeah.
No, it's true. He'll go appeal to his higher ups, and they'll make their judgment call.
So, as much as possible, if we were able to be here to assist, there's only so much you can do to make Harrow defensible against something like the Knights.
There are certain things for sure. And he kind of looks at your mom and he says, something close to the lodestone should certainly help. If we were to use... And she basically cuts him off like, I don't advise using it. It would put it as a target. It would make it very clear what's happening here. And it would make it something harder to defend. Mainly just from the fact that it's a beacon at that point. I think the best we can do is hold out hope that some of the other knights don't see it the same way as Robin.
Perhaps. I'd say it'd be nice to draw their attention to something else, but I'm not sure how possible that is. Especially if they'll looking
have
to
something.
go to war.
They'll have something. The knights are... There's a reason he was the only one out here.
So maybe if we just make it frustrating enough, they'll just move on to something else.
Potentially for a while. It will eventually come back.
Well, then let's look into making a door so that we can be here when that happens.
One thing that I like, if assuming we can pull off making a door here, I've been thinking about trying to get a more permanent workspace for some of my research for a while, and I think if I could build an artificery here in the city and have the door come out through there, it could make my coming and going less suspicious. If people see that as where I live when I'm in town, me just appearing randomly, even for however long, I think it'll look a lot better. Also, I'd love to have just a space to work that's wholly my own, especially so close to...
Your dad's eyes start to, like, his eyebrows, so he's like, you know, son, if you think about it, we could move goods from Sestead, things that are only there in Sestead.
No. We've been down this road.
Into Harrow and Jordania, upsell the prices.
We don't even need to upsell the prices. We can undercut.
Oh, we can
everyone. We're not
undercut
paying
them.
for travel.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Dad,
How
I
did
said
you
the
get
same thing,
How do you
Dad.
get these exports?
I said the same thing, Dad.
Almost word for word.
Yeah.
Brings out his word of the day calendar.
The entirety of that pitch is just written on one sheet of paper in the word of the day calendar. It would also help with keeping the people here armed and able to defend themselves in case it ever did come to that.
Yeah.
We also need to repair the city. I know that's something I'd like to assist with that.
And
Aye.
me too, actually. And I was wondering if the magical defenses are going to make us a beacon to the knights, and all we have to do is annoy them for a little while. I'm very good at booby traps and such, so maybe I can help more, less magic-y, more just regular way of defense while
I
we
think-
prepare.
If we were...
They're not going to be coming right now.
It's going to take him... the nearest outpost for him is about 3 weeks away. So...
It's worth keeping in mind while putting together plans for when they do come back.
My
What's
point...
something we build now.
My
Never
point
hurts
being
for a
is that it'll take him a while to get anywhere, and then it'll take an extra bit of while for the word even to reach back home. But in general, it's not bad to have some defenses, but
We don't have to use them right
I mean,
away.
I also wouldn't want random passersby to be affected by these things.
True. Well, I mean, booby traps is only one option here. But, as we rebuild, I think looking at actual physical defense instead of magical defense might be helpful.
It's not bad. It'll be certainly on the list.
So, we have access to we've got access to the bank accountants instead. If we need resources, we can pull from there. I can go to Rakia and see if I can procure some materials there if we need materials.
It'll depend on what we decide for defenses. By my estimate, it'll take about 4 weeks to repair the tower. And if we want to restructure it in a way that will actually benefit from the resiliences that she and I tried to put into it originally. It was an old building. It was an old tower in the first place. A lot of renovation to it. We're basically going to have to build it from the ground up. But that also allows us the opportunity, if we have the right materials, to use it as what we were intending. That stasis was supposed to inhabit the city. It's something we've been working on for a few years now with the limited amount of materials we had. So if you're saying you can pull stuff from Reiki,
Yeah, I can serve as a go-between, and we've got a direct passage to there, so we can make communication fast. We can move materials faster. If there's anything there that could benefit you, we can.
there's a few things. They have access to a few to some steel fabrications. They also the mountains of Rekia have a stone that sorry, I'm trying to think of the word. When you vein it with this with a dusting of gems, it creates that barrier at a much faster rate as well as a more sustained rate. It takes more than a lodestone to create this barrier. It's going to take material cost as well. So if we can use that stone, then that'll actually help the whole construction. I mean, the cost of that stone, buying it straight from Rekia and not having to transport it as much as it would be, is going to be a lifesaver. It's not an easy stone to mine, but it's found out here as well as over in Rekia, but they just have the better tools. They've been doing it.
Sure,
long enough.
it's their job. Yeah.
So, I'll tell you about how much we're going to need over the course of the weeks.
Sure.
And, the cost of that, maybe we can get the mayor to pay for. City's been well off for a while. It's the only reason I think that knight was even here in the first place. So, save your money. Let the city buy it. There's a lot of things that we could benefit from, and I don't think that people seeing what just happened, even though it's a terrible sight, we do benefit a little bit from the fear. We benefit from people being willing to pay their taxes. So, as messed up as it all might be, there are some positives to this situation. It looks like dinner's almost here. I wouldn't want to cut this conversation short, but to be honest, we've got a few weeks of time before it's all said and done. And that's if a lot of you are sticking around.
I could certainly help, at least
I mean, travel is travel. If you guys are having to talk to the different places and do all of that, there's going to be plenty of people here doing the grunt work. Don't worry about that.
Sure. I also have a few things of my own to take care of, but I plan on
I wouldn't
helping
stop
you as
any
much
of
as
you
I can.
from doing anything that benefits yourself. If you don't mind, we'll leave you alone. We'll see you at dinner. Then get up and head out the door. Leaving you guys just another brief moment if you guys wanted to discuss anything.
How are you all feeling?
I have some business that I would like to take care of in Sestead and at the mansion, so I'll stay for dinner, but if it's okay, I think afterwards I'm going to head back.
I can come with you. I also have something to do in Sestead, but I would like to come back here and help rebuild if there is time.
The construction is going to be going on for the next 4 weeks, so it's like there's time.
I'll help too. Not very much though.
But Liam, when you said you were staying, did you just mean like while the construction was happening and then we find this door, or did you mean for like ever?
So a lot of it depends. I find myself in a situation where I feel the need to be two places at once, and I'm in a unique situation where a lot of the time, if we do this right, I can be. I'd love to, if I can have a door from our house to here, then I can do both. I can be here if the city needs me. I can be here to help do research, and I can be there with you guys with whatever you need help with or whatever we're working on together as well. If this turns out to not be something that we can do, then I'm not sure. Right now I'm hanging my hopes on this idea. I don't, because of the stone here, like this problem doesn't go away when the city's rebuilt. And even if I leave my parents to look after it, eventually they can't anymore. And the stone will still need looking after. And I'm responsible for that as well, I feel. So I'm gonna try to have my cake and eat it too.
And if a door doesn't...
We'll see. I'm unsure. There's no way to know if it'll work or what'll be needed wherever.
We'll find a way to make it work. They've made them before. That means they can be made again.
We got the brightest minds in the world working with us.
We'll figure it out. Alright, well, shall we get going, or?
Yeah.
Alright. The, you all go ahead and leave the Hammerfist home, heading towards the mayor's house. It's a very fine estate. It's not anything gaudy, but it's very, it's rustic, and it seems well lived in, but it's a very nicely built house and very well taken care of. Any of the vines that are growing upon it seem intentional and manicured, but the paint is chipping and the wood is still old. So certainly an old home. And as you step in, it's a warm, sort of sweet bread smell as you enter, and kind of something akin to a stew, like a pot roast kind of situation as you enter. There are places set at the dinner table. It's very clear where the dining room is. It's like an open arch. It's like an open entryway, where as you walk forward, you would get up into stairs into the second level. But the whole bottom floor is like the dining room and kind of like greeting area. And the mayor sort of he's already kind of waiting there. He's helping the staff, and he indicates towards the table to sit down. Like a couple other people are already there, sitting down, drinking the wine and everything. So everybody seems to be here and ready to go as you sit down. And the mayor starts, as you all take your seats, he says, "Thank you all for coming. I know this is a last-minute dinner, and there are many things to discuss. There's still work to be done. But I would like to take a moment to appreciate some of the small things we have to be thankful for in this current moment before the hard work begins. We have to be thankful for the fact that we get to still live at all. This could have been a very bad few days. And it took everyone who was in this room to make it better than what it could have been. And I'm just glad that some of my last weeks as mayor of Harrow will be spent looking at you people in all of your hard work. Thank you. Let us eat first, and we will discuss later." And at that, he starts, the stews come out. It has like these sort of plates of dinner rolls and things, very lovely mashing of flavors and fruits, and there's like a cheese plate on the table as well. The dinner goes fine. People are kind of having the small conversations. The general is certainly speaking the least out of the group. Liam's dad probably gets just a tad bit too drunk. and is starting to say some stories from his past, but nothing wild, or nobody's really getting into too. It still seems very even keeled of an evening. Nobody's really getting too happy or expressive or very vulnerable. Everybody's kind of just still guarded enough that they have work to do. But as the meal closes, the mayor says to the group, I suppose we should start the discussion of where we will begin. And Liam's father steps. He said, I think we should start with the tower. Oh shit, I gotta remember your parents' names.
Gareth. Is it Garen?
Garen.
Thelia is my mom. Garen is my
Garen,
father.
yeah.
And Stenford, or Sten, is my grandfather.
Yeah, he's asleep. Is a Thalia and myself, we, as you know, Mayor, we were working on that tower for some fierce over these past year. It's a shame to see all our hard work go to waste, but, maybe it's good for the best. It means we can really take that and make it our own, make it Harrow's own. Not just something from a leftover battlement. The mayor, curiously, what do you mean? Well, certainly the way we were trying to construct it is beneficial for the tower itself, but if we were to procure that stone from Rakia, he's like, I know you asked for this last year. This is not... We can allocate funds for more work, for sure, but the shipping cost alone would kill us. He says, right, well, not. We've sort of found a nice little workaround. What if I told you we could cut off the shipping cost altogether? My son here, and he kind of slaps you on the back a little bit. He's like, my son.
Yeah, my as was mentioned earlier, my friend Philip has some contacts in Reykjavik, and I believe that through those we'll be able to obtain what we need for quicker and at a better price.
Truly.
There are a few people who owe me some favors, and we should be able to set something up. It'll take some discussion, but I believe we can make it happen.
It's hard to disagree. Council vote, of course, first, but we could tell you our rates and what we could abide to lose. Certainly, the cost of the stone alone was easy enough. It just was simply the travel more than anything. It would deplete the city's funds considerably, but at that, your mother speaks up. She says, yes, well, the only thing with that, Mayor, is that were we to do so, it would surefire way to protect our city at a moment's notice. With the added benefit of maybe a few additional defenses that we could build over time, and with some of the other means that we already have close to us, I don't see the reason why not to. Well, council vote. And the ones of the council. You see the general doesn't raise his hand, but everybody else does. With that, we will send you with our, we will have to work out how we will send the appropriate funds with you, but if you have this contact, I would love to hear that before we move too quickly.
Sure, we can confirm the rates before we make the purchase for sure.
Wonderful. Moving on from that, reconstruction of the inn, of course, of Tom's Inn, I say I would vote that we allocate him the appropriate lumber from the mill. Truly a loss that he should not have to bear. They all kind of agree on that. By that admission as well, General, you are... He's like, don't... Just... I'll pay for it, it's fine. Very well. Very well. So, are there any other things to discuss chiefly at this moment? Reconstruction was certainly our biggest hurdle of the evening. But does anyone else have anything? I suppose Thalia and Garen, we will be in discussion of what we can do to better the tower itself, and to your friends, indicates with you, Liam, is certainly if we could only make one small request on top of the favor you're already doing for us. Our guard situation is certainly lacking. Potentially finding a substitute, or in addition to that, if you have any knowledge base of those, that would be helpful.
Something I'll put some thought to, and in the meantime, I believe the whole group's planned to be in the area for a little bit at least, and I said I'd be here to help out. So in the meantime, we'll help, especially while I put some thought and research into that.
If you reach out to anyone, their lodging would be substantial enough. Of course, the room and board is not necessarily. It's, I would say, half. Certainly guaranteed 3 or 4 meals a week. A pay on top of that. Probably no more than 5 gold a week.
Right.
Wonderful. And with that, business is out of the way. Hope you will all continue to enjoy your dinner. And at that, the evening kind of continues. If anybody had anybody that they wanted to talk to or ask us any questions, just let me know now. Anybody at the table, I mean.
Can I get a read on how Nameless is feeling, or how it looks like she's feeling?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say that's something that, like, it doesn't seem any different than normal. You have the information you have.
Yeah.
So you'd have to ask her.
Yeah. I would like to do that.
You approach and
yeah. Would you mind joining me outside for a little bit?
Okay.
We go outside.
you're outside. Did you need me to describe that for you?
I just wanted to make sure. Get all the bases covered. So how are you, how are you handling all this?
Oh. I mean, I don't think that, I think it's really crappy. But I also don't understand. Because I spent most of my life without a parent. No offense, Panther.
Oh, he's not there.
Oh, okay, thank God. I realized that and I was like, "Oy."
No, he didn't. He saw who you were leaving with, so he's not worried.
Okay.
Plus he's like really into his food.
But you all seem to be able to move on and start a life of your own. And I'm happy to be part of that life. And the fact that someone is so willing to throw that away because of their past doesn't make sense to me. And it makes me mad.
I understand where you're coming from, and I think the first thing I want to tell you is that there's nothing wrong with you feeling this way.
I didn't think there was.
Sure, I just wanted
To confirm that I was good in my feelings, I do appreciate that, but it is not needed.
I suppose what I would say is I don't think that he wants to throw anything away, but he just came very close to having what he knew torn away from him, and it's not something I think I would want anybody to go through. He's trying his hardest to be there for 2 different families right now, really, and
But can you be with anyone if you have one foot in one relationship and one foot in the other?
I think so. That's what I'm trying to do. He's trying to combine us. He's not trying to get rid of.
I don't want a bigger family. Group thing, whatever we are. I like it as it is. I like things the way they are. I like going out and doing things with you guys. I like doing... I like it as it is. And I don't get it. It's not mine to get, though.
I understand.
I don't think you do, because you do it too. You just said so. So I don't think you understand, as I don't have another relationship to put in another foot in. This is it. So you don't get it. That's okay. I think you are, as you said, valid in feeling the way that you feel.
I guess all I would say is that we don't always get to choose the families that we have, and this is different. This is one that we chose. It's something that we've put a lot of time into, and
I didn't know I believed in this until just this moment, but I don't think I chose you all. Huh. I think you're supposed to be there. And that's why this hurts so much. I would like to go back and finish dinner and not talk about this anymore.
Sure. I understand.
You say that a lot. And I think that you should be careful because I don't think you understand always when you say it.
I think I understand more things than you think.
Says the boy with a word of the day calendar.
Just because I invest in my education doesn't mean I deserve ridicule.
That was a gift. It was a Christmas gift.
Sure, let's go back in.
Should we go back in together?
Would that be weird?
And you enter together.
All right.
She's treating a word of the day calendar like a hooked on phonics book.
Yeah.
For him, it is.
He's not that dumb.
He's an 8 intelligence, if I recall.
Yeah, that's not that dumb.
For an intelligent folk like me.
Squirrels have like 6, and they're smart. They can like figure out locks. Get into your food.
I feel like that's more repetition than like that's just more like I did it enough times.
Oh, are we means testing intelligence now?
So the rest of the evening goes by just fairly easily. Tybalt does have one or two moments, Liam, where you can visibly see that he keeps like looking at you and like trying to figure out something to say almost, and then just like nixes it and goes and does something else instead, like goes and talks to somebody else. But other than that, I mean, the rest of the night kind of calm, easy, pleasant conversation. The Hammerfists leave first. And the General after that. Tybalt and Charlie leave close after that. To be courteous, the rest of you now leave.
I don't.
Together, or do we leave separately?
Well, I mean, you're all leaving separately. The mayor kicked you out. So, where do you guys want to end up tonight? Is the question. It's still early enough in the evening. It's like 9 o'clock. So you could make your way back to the mansion.
Yes, that's where I'm going.
Okay.
I'm gonna, if it's possible to receive like the list of potential things and all that stuff.
I suppose I mean to say that would have been given to you.
Cool.
Yeah. You don't leave empty-handed or like have to come back or anything for that kind of stuff. You guys are leaving with all of the knowledge you need.
Cool.
It's about 50,000 gold worth, is what your credit is.
50 dozen.
50,000.
50,000. Got it.
About 50,000 gold is the credit that they can give towards the stone.
Okay, that's all right.
By Garen's admission, it should be more than enough to buy the amount they need.
I would also like to go back to the mansion, but I'd like to go the way that I went in my wolf form.
We literally can't. We can't hear you over the sirens right now.
That's okay, bud.
Yeah,
no. You don't have to do anything.
It's not your fault. It's those.
It was
first
just taking a
responders.
second. What's up, Chelsea?
I would like to go like not the way that we came, but like the way that I went in bird form to get Ripper. Like I want to go a different way to the house than everyone else.
Oh. Yeah, you can be a bird and do that way
No.
instead.
I just want to not go the same way they're going. I would like to go, but I want to go like the way through the woods, not through.
That's the only way to get there is through the woods. The mansion is in the woods 2 hours away. There's only one path. There's you can
I
go
thought
a
we
different
walked
way.
in on a main path. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to walk down the main path that
Right,
we walked here.
you guys put yourselves on the main path so you'd walk into the city.
I just don't want to be with anyone else.
You don't have to be. Is the funny
That's all I'm
part.
saying.
It's like you don't. Yeah, I just wanted to be clear. Yeah, you don't have to walk with anybody that you don't want to. It's obvious that you're not walking with them, but yeah. So Setlali, Nameless are going back. Philip, you were going back, but you were just making sure that you had that slip first.
I'll wait until the evening and just kind of spend
It is
the
the
rest.
evening. It's 9 o'clock.
But I mean, like, I'll wait until like. I'll wait a bit and just kind of like look around town and like assess things basically and get the list and all that. I just wouldn't leave right away is the thing, so I'd probably be if everybody else is leaving right after.
You're
dinner.
not leaving with everyone else, but I'm asking, are you going back to the mansion is my
Yes.
question. Great. That's the question. Are you going back to the mansion?
I didn't
I'm
know if
going-
it'd matter if we went together, and just wanted to say that I would leave a little bit later.
it
Do we
did.
go
It's
together or?
God. Anybody else? What's anybody else doing?
I'll head to the mansion as well.
So, Setlali, Liam,
Me
and
too.
Clickwhistle head together. Philip, you're walking around town for a little bit before you go. And Nameless decidedly goes down a different path from everybody else.
With Panther and Ripper.
Yeah, I understand who you're going with.
Just saying who my real tribe is.
Jesus.
The most pouty kid ever.
So, Nameless, you'd probably be the first one to get there. Because even though you're walking a different path, you're the only one who always remembers where it is. So I don't have to
Because I
you
have an
roll for
excellent
it.
memory for geography.
The three of you, I am going to need a survival check to make sure you walk back correctly.
Can I have advantage on the roll since I grew up in these woods?
Yes, you can. Only one person needs to make the roll. You guys are walking together.
Well, may I suggest my roll?
No.
She already rolled.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because you
I
already
rolled
rolled.
it.
You didn't even listen. You didn't let me finish my sentence.
Aww.
It's a good roll too. I'm
What's
really
the
mad
roll?
about it. It's a natural 20.
You guys get back okay. It wasn't even a. It wasn't. God, it was more of a joke.
They don't run into an rain keg?
No.
Okay.
He was just
So
gonna
Lolly's
see if
like
you
running
guys.
up the trees. So Lolly's running through the trees, on top of the trees, and sees the mansion.
It was just gonna be if you guys accidentally ended up at Old Specs, but okay.
Oh,
You
God,
don't.
I hope I mess up.
Accidentally.
Roll me a survival check.
At disadvantage.
No, no, just.
I hope you get a 1. I hope you get a 1 so bad.
He still got pretty low, to be honest. It's a wisdom. Da, 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 da.
7!
Yeah, you end up at Old Specs for sure. Was there a goal to walking around town?
It was mostly just like that's what would have happened for me. Like I wouldn't have gone straight back because I would have like checked things out and then like waited to like get the list and stuff from.
The list would have been given to you before the end of dinner. But no, I'm just saying like if you're still walking around, you're still checking things out and just like waiting for these things and making sure you have
I was
everything.
kind of taking the damage and seeing if there's
Yeah.
anything else I could do.
It doesn't seem like it. It seems like a lot is going to be the big heavy. Like a lot of that rubble has been set to the side, so a lot of it has actually been sifted through for these past couple of days. But it seems like that's still going to be a bit of work.
Okay.
But as you're walking back, yeah, you end up looking at that hut, and you're like, oh, well, this isn't all the way back yet. And you see him kind of just like sitting out on his porch. He's like, hey!
Oh, hi!
Wait a minute. You look familiar.
I'm one of Liam's friends.
That's what they all say.
Wow, Liam has a lot of friends.
You're right. He's a friendly kid. What are you doing out here?
Well, was trying to go somewhere else.
And you ended up here?
Yeah.
Papa Squat?
All right.
he's basically he offers you some of his. He like pours you a little glass of the apple pie moonshine.
It'd be rude not to. Alright. I'm just gonna shoot the shit with Old Specs, I guess. Or Old
Go ahead and
Spec.
make me Old Spec. Old Spec. The night is sort of like this conversation is mainly a roundabout one, unless you have anything that you would want to ask him specifically.
I gotta be real, I have nothing for Old Spec.
Great. You have a nice hour-long conversation with him, trying to, like, as the hour reaches its end, too, every time, you're just kind of trying to find an exit out of the conversation, and he kind of keeps roping you back in, and you're too pleasant to stop it, so for, like, 30 minutes, you continuously try to leave, but by the end of it, he's like, oh, that's what you're looking for? You go that way.
Oh, you're looking for the house that nobody knows about in the woods?
No, he's just
go.
It's like, he's like, oh, you're looking for, like, that's how far it is? You would go that way, and that's more northwest than this direction.
Alright.
And you end up at the house. Maybe, like, an hour later than you were hoping to, but you do.
Alright.
So. And if nobody... again, it's evening. You guys have spent an entire day. You would have to start getting sleep now, otherwise you guys would start to run the risk of exhaustion.
Okay, so sleep.
Yeah. I will also sleep.
Sleep it is.
I will sleep.
I will sleep!
I will long rest.
Sleep.
Ugh.
Wow.
Jeez.
Okay, got a rules.
And then I'll
over here.
trance.
You'll what?
I'll trance a little
Oh,
bit.
okay, trance. Yeah.
Tiesto.
Yeah, so everybody make sure you enact a long rest on Beyond if you're using that. So everybody gets their spells back, all their things, the HP and hit die all come back as well. Pardon me. Morning comes to you in all your individual rooms. At this moment, what I would say is we're just going to go down the list, and we're just going to say what we're going to be doing for the day. At this point, you guys have open to you again this sort of 4 weeks of... I'm trying to think of like you guys have about 4 weeks of downtime. Currently, you are not under any obligations to any missions for Barlow, Daphne, or anyone else. It is something that we have discussed off stream, but again, for this first part, I will let you know how much time the activity is going to take based on what you say. Okay? Alright, we're going to go down the list. We're starting with Philip.
First thing I'm gonna do is go take the notes, the documentation into Rakia, and I'm gonna check in with my family and see how they're doing, and also ask them if they can help point me to where I could get this stuff.
Gotcha. Liam.
I think I'm gonna start talking with Yvonne and trying to work with her to try and figure out this door situation.
Lolly.
First I want to go talk to Yvonne as well, but then I want to go speak to Moral.
Okay. Click whistle.
I want to turn in my Thaddeus Brogg hand and plans to my fence, and then I would like to go back to Harrow and help out and see if I can help in the rebuilding or the
And
tactical planning.
For right now, all I have is I want to go to the Expanse.
Okay. We're probably going to hit about in that order. Yeah, we'll do it then.
Okay.
I'm going to be trying to move through these in an as eloquent as possible, as well as giving as possible. Philip, you enter Rakia, and it being morning in Jortenia means it's close to, or it's early enough morning. You would have probably started your day 8 or 9. So getting into Rakia about evening time, early evening. You enter. You said you wanted to hit your family first?
Yeah, I'd go to the Fratterfullers first and see how they've been doing. Ask a couple questions.
Yeah.
And then hopefully they could point me towards where I could go to actually get the stuff that
Perfect.
we're looking for.
Yeah. Not a problem. You enter the Fratterfuller estate. It seems like things are going strong for the night. They've got a fair amount of people joining them for drinks. And you see Villatary is sort of discussing with other people, and he's, "Oh, Philip!
Hi, how's it going?
It is going well, mice. Yes. Please, sit down." And he
sit.
kind of like ushers in a drink, sets it down, and ushers one for himself. And he's like, "So, it's been a little while since we've seen you. How's your life?"
Better at the moment than it has been the last couple weeks. It's been some pretty stressful jobs the last couple weeks, but things are looking up for the moment.
Well, it's good you came home then.
Yeah. How have things been going here? Has there been any developments? Or?
Well, certainly more business has been coming through ever since Fratterfullers have finally actually cleared their name.
I'm glad to hear.
More people are willing to do business, as well as be seen in the establishment. So, on the up.
I'm glad to hear it. Does there happen to be any word at all? Anything about the Bavarish? Anybody come forward? Or?
No. He sort of looks at the hammer and the shield, the pickaxe and the shield that are up on the.
Mm-hmm.
No one has come through. We keep it up, and we certainly spread word out through the western parts of Rakia. The most recent word I ever had was that I believe the last sighting of any, or in terms of sighting, just sort of namesake, was up north in let me bring out my up north. That's the last I heard of it.
North of Ulankar?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
But that was certainly a few people that I asked. I really didn't hit the streets that had we been here. There might be some other people that you might be able to ask in town, in the city proper, that would certainly know more of history, clans, than I would.
Yes, actually, the was it Silverworm? Something like that? Yeah. The Silverworm clan, actually, do they have a place around here?
Oh, of course. Yes.
I'm gonna have to check there. I ran into one of their places in Grania, and it seems like if anybody would know anything, it would probably be them.
They are a good resource. I would highly suggest it.
Well, thank you. One other thing. I'm looking for somewhere where I can get this kind of stone. Do you know who in the...
Reads it over. Ooh, considerable amount. Huh? But seems to be... Well, you might have to fight for that price. But if you are going to ask anyone, you might be able to ask the Thorgals. What is some of their chief export?
The Thorgals. Okay.
Of course, they still answer to their higher clan, so if they don't have enough to give, I don't know what to say after that, but they would be my first bet.
Well, there are certainly worse clans to be starting with. Well, thank you. This has been very helpful. I'll be back soon. I just need to check in on...
Staying.
What?
You are not staying. It is so late.
Oh, well, I suppose I could. I often lose track of time.
Well, I would not want to stop you from your good works, but it has been a few weeks since we've seen you.
I just need to check in on these things quickly, but I can come back after. It shouldn't take
You
long.
should do what you want. I will not control you.
Well, so about what time is it? Like,
It's like 8 or 9 in the evening. You literally woke up like an hour ago.
yeah. Well, I suppose it would be a little rude to go looking for business this late at night.
No.
I could always check in the morning.
No, the businesses stay open.
Why?
Work never stops.
Oh, well,
Everyone runs in shifts.
I suppose that makes sense, but
You are an adventurer. I assumed you ran by the usual.
sure, it doesn't mean I expect everybody else to live by those
That's a
standards.
very good way to put it. Well, please,
Well,
go back to your business.
I can always check in the morning. That it's not a problem.
No, you should check now.
Okay, then I'll be back afterwards.
I just want to make sure that you're coming back.
Yes, I'll be back. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I've been waiting to do something like that too for a while.
Oh.
Just like get Philip trapped in a quandary of.
No.
Yeah.
It's so rude.
What's the most polite?
Yeah. So finding the Thorgals is very easy. You've been there before, and as you enter, it is a similar person you've seen. Oh, Philip Fratterfaller.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. Your face is known to us. I understand if you do not recognize me, but
Is it the one from the pillars, or is it the one when I came looking like
the one
before we
from
went
the
to hell?
pillars.
It's the one from the pillars.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm not sure I picked up the name specifically.
But how can we help you, my friend?
Oh well, I'm actually, I have some friends who are doing a construction project, and so they actually were looking to make a purchase. So I told them I would make the run and see if a deal could be worked out.
Well, and he sort of takes the work order type paper that you have with you.
Yeah.
He says, that price is certainly, it would be taking slight bit of cut from our end.
How much is the difference from the?
About, roughly, we could, to be honest, about 9,000 gold to get everything. An additional. And for some reason, you say that your friends in the city of Harrow, they have no shipping cost either. That would certainly bring it up an additional 30.
Well, I was planning to take care of the shipping myself. It's why they asked me. I could.
Well, if this is coming out of your pocket, then, certainly. Oh, you mean you would be shipping it?
Yes, I would handle the shipping.
Interesting. Not typical, but of course.
It might take me. It might take a few trips, but
It kind of like.
I don't really have a concept. Like, are we buying like huge stone blocks, or is this kind of like a thing to put over like their standard stone? I don't actually know. Like,
consider it more like a cement.
more like a cement. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. So it's not like I'm literally
they've
putting the
mined-
size of a tower in
No,
my
no.
bag.
Like they've mined
Got it.
the stone and have now ground it into,
A fine powder.
yeah, in some sort of like gravel / powdered.
Do I know the
Form.
general Do I know how much of this is going to be, like, volume-wise?
Yeah. They come in about 50-pound bags, and each bag is about 3 gold.
That's a lot of bags.
Yeah.
How many, so if I had...
You're not going to be able to fit it all in Flanagan.
I'm trying to figure out how many Flanagan trips it would take.
You
can also load up a cart and have Flanagan and Pangolin grab some as well.
Yeah.
We could.
It's why this is like the amount that they're asking, like the amount that's going to be required is this thing where it's like this is a lot.
Yeah.
Again.
So it would take a lot of trips.
3 gold per bag.
Yes. Well, maybe we could meet it out in weekly installments.
Well, that's kind of the other idea. Is like you're not taking it all in one lump sum. You would be taking multiple trips. So like a day a week, you would basically be dropping off more, and it would take you the whole day to do the trips.
So they want 29,000 as opposed to 20,000 for all of it. And
what?
They said it's about 9,000 gold below price, right?
9,000 below, yeah. Like what it would like for the amount of like the volume that would be required.
So they're looking at basically a 33% cut.
Yeah,
got it.
He's like, but I mean, to be truthful, good friend, we could see dropping it down to meet your 50,000. If you are already taking on shipping costs, you save us trouble of booking fare and protecting it. You are a capable person in yourself. You also help us save cost on who we would hire to protect. At about a 9,000 difference. The way I see it, we sort of net profit off of this deal. Most of our stuff would go... Most of the thing we sell at cost. Maybe a slight above cost. But most of that is also to help pay for travel and all these other things. You are saying you have a way around this by being the person. That is a lot of material to move, my friend. But
I may not be able to do it in one day.
no,
But
certainly we would. we usually do these in multiple installments, but does this seem agreeable to you?
Sure. If it will make the deal work, I'll make however many trips it takes. I'll work out the logistics.
Well, Loretka is someone who puts you at high regard. It is a small price.
Of course. And if there's ever anything I can do for you, just let me know. I appreciate your assistance.
I'm sure. We actually, he says,
Oh no.
and like pulls out. He's like, we
Oh,
do
no.
have some odd jobs. If you could take care of them. And this is out of game, out of character speak. This won't take you anything, and outside of time. You
Sure.
basically have to give up a week of your 4 weeks to do these things. But
I have no problem assisting.
okay,
Yeah, I can.
and that's it. It's a lot of stuff of like.
Is it a week straight, or is it like just a day here and there to?
It's what you can amount to a week. Like there are you could take. They have a host of odd jobs. So it's like you could take them, and he's basically asking of like a week of your time.
Sure.
Even spread out for a few of those things. It's a lot of like deliveries or in similar fashion of like transporting materials, guarding materials, that kind of thing. There are things in the mountains of Sestet that are not good.
Mountains of Sestet or Rakia?
Sorry, of Rakia.
Excellent.
To say.
Sure. Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah. So he makes that deal. So again, 1 day out of a week of the 4 weeks, you're gonna have to spend predominantly just doing that. You're also going to lose an additional week doing these odd jobs. But with that, is there any parting?
I have a question. Do any of these jobs involve going north?
No. A lot of it's still within the area of Ulankar.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like it's nothing going too far north.
Excellent. I suppose the only other thing I could possibly want to do would just be checking the silverworm place
Sleeper.
for anything. Sleeperworm?
Yeah.
checking that place for anything regarding the Kavarish.
For sake of brevity, very easily they say, "Oh, yes, that's." They basically with your clan badge and your status, like they're able to tell you the last known information about any clan Pavarish is something to do with one of the outposts up north. It's a bastion, Kugrim. Kugrim is in like the northern, north. It's actually almost dead center, but it's like just a little bit northwest. It's the closest city to the Endless Tundra.
Oh, okay.
In the entirety of Larethia. It's the closest you would ever. It's like where a lot of people, if they start to go there, that's where they head and they start there.
Cool. All right, good to know.
Cool. Okay. Liam. Remind me again. You wanted to do what?
Start working with Yvonne on solving the door conundrum.
Yes. You find her in the morning working very easily with in the shop. She's kind of like doing a couple of little gadgets. Nothing super intensive or it seems even like maybe a job. Some of the things are very, very rudimentary. It doesn't have her usual flair. Kind of seems like it's too schema rather than trying to find something new as you enter. Hello? Hi, Liam. How are you? Oh, it's been a minute.
Yes. Howdy.
Sorry. Cleans her glasses. Just a busy day today. How can I?
Fair enough. I was hoping to use this space for a little bit. It's been stressful, but visiting home can be like that, I guess.
Nameless had something about that the other day. Yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but I'm actually, I've been meaning to ask you what you've discovered on this front, but I'm also just looking to do some research into it myself. We're aware of the vague possibility of being able to make new doors in our magical door wheel, and I was hoping to build one to Harrow. So I'm trying to figure out what all will need to happen for that and how it goes about it.
I see. I haven't attempted it yet myself, but I have looked into it for sure. That was one of those first things when you guys were predisposed the past few months. I decided to check that out. She like takes out her notes and she says, I see that in all likelihood, by the runes in the door and once that knob was broken, I never thought to look inside, really. I didn't want to mess with the mechanism too much, but thankfully we had that happy accident. So I took about an hour and took the doorknob apart. It's fine. It should all work in theory. The grounding and the runes are what keep the door spatial relation to the whole world in place around the door frame. So when I looked through the subsequent doors, a very similar bout of language was there for those locations. The houses was much more complex because it would be moving in points of space, whereas the other ones are stationary, so they require a lot less rune work. So in that way, they're much more simple. However, it can only be located within 6 points at any time. Neutrality being one of them. That always has to be active. It's the only way the door can work. If we lost that, then we wouldn't have the door anymore. In theory, you could probably even rip a hole through space and time. But that's neither here nor there. It's just more that if you were, in theory, what I would think that the way I'm supposing that the actual mechanism works is more based in the rune attached to the metalwork. The other thing that I found in each of the transportation locations was that the metalwork within the framing of the door was the same. It's a very, it was cold steel, cold iron steel. Something about it is it's a metal that you know, Miles. Like you as Liam would know, cold steel, like cold iron steel is it's a metal that is very reactive to other planes, and it holds. It's like a grounding material to the material plane. It's something that like holds fast to it. It's why Fae it are affected deeply by it, is because it's something that is not found anywhere else besides the material plane. Just like and I imagine that's the only reason it can work in the expanse, is because it's the only thing that ties itself to a physical location. If you were to put that into the true astral plane, you would probably end up somewhere different every time. Does that help? So if you want to construct one, I'm fairly certain it's about grounding the rune work into the location. A lot of the runes that are described along the framework of each location have to do with its geographical location, but also its importance once the runes were in place. Like for instance, the deep, it says it gives the geographical pinpoints, but it also says homeland, and it says heart place, essentially. A lot of the time, there's a kind of over and over again grounding it in its own feeling. Whereas in the forest, it says enemy territory. It says there's another one that it says. She checks her notes and she says it says distant land. So it's stuff like that. If you want to make one in your home, your city of Harrow, then by all means, I think that's perfect. We have a tie there. It seems that these things can't be placed just anywhere. It seems to have a real tether. That's something that really grounds it into the cold steel.
All right.
The material cost, I'd say, is probably around. It's not a thin piece of metal, but probably around $2,000, 2,000 gold.
All right.
And then the crystal involved at the what's that? Oh fuck! What's that? Not the apex. The what's the top of an archway?
I don't know, man. I'm not a carpenter.
Isn't there a term for the like?
The keystone.
Yeah, keystone. Yeah.
The keystone.
That would also have to be something of sizable worth, probably 500 gold. Some sort of gem. I don't think the gemstone really matters. It seems like it was different every time. It just happened to be similar sizings, similar worth.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. I'd love to.
I couldn't.
Cool. I appreciate the info.
I couldn't see it taking the two of us more than a week.
Yeah.
To build out the frames and to set it up into where you would want it to, we would certainly have to make sure that the framings also have to be identical sizings. So
yeah.
That's going to be the tough part. But as long as you have a good enough forge, we should be fine. I wouldn't really trust the one in the mansion. It doesn't seem up to snuff right now.
Huh. We should have access to one. No problem. Do you have any idea what's wrong with the one in the mansion right
Just, I wouldn't trust it with the sizings we need.
now? Right. Cool.
Just the amount of solid steel that needs to be formed, I can't see us being able to work it in the fire as a solid unit.
All right. Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, and I guess for the sake of using the rest of my time, I could just start doing some of the calculations for the runes that we'll need. For the timing and stuff. I can just start doing that. I'll need to figure out how to get resources, but I'll figure that out later.
Sure thing. Sorry. Just notating that you are doing so. Okay. With that, we're going to go ahead and take our break. When we come back, we'll start to get through the rest of these, and this is really fun. I'm actually having a great time. This is sort of building on stuff that we've been wanting to talk about or do for a while now. And I'm really excited for this second half for some of the things people have decided to go do. So we'll see you soon. Please stay active in chat. We got that giveaway going on.
Yeah, get those supplements.
Get them giveaways.
Get those
Give
supplements.
it away
Stay
now.
healthy.
Give it away.
Underground Oracle supplements are the
Give it
Flintstone
away.
vitamins of D&D 5th edition.
Give it away now.
Give it away now.
And welcome to the Natural Ones. Hello, Sally.
And a
Hello.
super special congratulations to
Insert name here.
on
Still
that
funny.
exciting new stuff that you just won.
It's gonna be funny.
Still funny. Is probably funnier than the joke.
No!
Well, Miles and I are getting a kick out of
Nothing
it,
will
so
ever be
So is some of our fans.
I don't get a kick from that joke.
Don't get no.
All in favor.
All in favor of Chelsea's death.
I thought
you
you
said
said dad
dab.
at first. I was like, yeah,
Oh, I
I,
thought
I
you-
am in favor
I thought you
of
said
my
I
dad.
thought
Chelsea's
he said death. Yeah.
Yeah, all in favor of Chelsea's
me
death.
too. I was like, Chelsea's
Nope, I
dead.
said dab. I said all in
No,
favor
I
of
realized
Chelsea's
Dad.
dab.
Hi, Dad. I hope you're watching.
I realized you said
I'm just
dab,
in
but
line.
then I was like, I don't really want Chelsea to die, so I'm not gonna agree to that.
Well, I was saying something very innocent and positive. So, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Somebody wants you to die, and somebody wants your dad, Chelsea. Apparently,
I
you.
just wanted to
So
say hi
we're
to my
gonna-
father.
The scene
He's probably
opens.
watching, and so I was just saying hi.
And Miles is
Hi,
like,
Dad.
I just gotta sing through this. I gotta sing. If I can't, then
The
I.
only way.
The scene opens on set
The
Lolly.
only way.
The ground around her is covered in candy bars. In front of her is a broken vending machine with the glass just completely busted out. Guards rushing towards
Cat
her,
butt!
shouting thief.
Oh, she put that
Breakfast
butt
Club.
right on your dice.
Yep, she specifically. She's not on my dice tray this time, so that's one
She
thing.
No, but she put it right on these dice.
Oh.
She put that butt
These
right
ones.
there.
She's raising.
These
She's
dice.
raising the value.
These dice.
These dice have been blessed by the cat butthole.
Dice.
You guys want to talk about the interdimensional doors? You just go through a cat butthole. You get you a new one.
My favorite my favorite deity.
Jesus Christ, man.
My favorite
Jesus
deity in
Christ.
D&D is the cat butt god.
I mean, the movie Holes takes on a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
Ah.
You find a priest with an asterisk on his on his shield.
That was
It's the
the other
butthole
deity that
flag.
came to me in a dream, but I chose the sun. I chose the
It's
sun
like-
instead.
Nah, you creep me out. I don't want to go with you.
Sphincterus?
Sphincterus, yes.
Yeah.
The symbol is a sphinx. Huh?
Sphinx.
Sphincterian.
It's not an X. It's CTS.
It's, yeah.
So
And it's and the image is a sphinx, but just from behind. Like
Yeah. Turn around, Sphinx.
The morning for you, said Lolly. You wanted to take a moment to talk to Yvonne, like you said.
Yes. Yes, I did.
As you enter the room, essentially Liam is leaving, kind of having had his discussion. She's yeah.
Bye, Liam.
Everyone's coming into my office today. How's it? Hi, what's up?
First of all, good morning. How are you?
Fine.
Okay, that's good. So I have a couple questions for you. So the first question, I know you don't... Okay, before I ask you this question, how... If I ask you a question about moral, is that going to upset you? Because I won't ask the question if it's going to upset you.
I don't, no, it won't. Go ahead, ask your question.
Okay, so Moral asked me to look for someone when we were in Coal Hole. And I was wondering if you knew of somebody named Brachus and what their relationship was to Moral.
When it comes to Moral, anybody's relationship with them is layered at best. But no, the name doesn't sound familiar. I mean, Moral and I haven't really spoken in years, so, or not formally at least. So this could have been a recent contact or someone I'm not privy to. Sorry, I can't be more help. I just don't know.
Oh, no, I'm grateful that you felt comfortable enough to answer the question, because that probably was not on the top of your list this morning. Second question, so this house. If I didn't want an extremely powerful being who has been able to contact us through our minds between long distances to hear me, does this house have those kinds of security measures?
Yeah. Yes. The nature with which the house is built, the material used is many different kinds. It sort of seems like it was built over time as the needs arose. I mean, the legs that move the house itself are only a millennia old, so in comparison to the rest of the house, it's comparatively young. The legs, I mean. So some of the functionality of the material used in our she kind of pats the walls of this is cold iron steel. Some of the I realize now I never actually said the name of the stone.
Was it cold iron steel?
No.
Oh.
The name of the stone is
Wyverstone.
You good?
Yeah.
Luter stone. So it's like Lewtre, Lutra stone. It's also the wood itself is treated in some of the oils that in the forests of Angmar they use to elongate, essentially perpetually the life of chopped wood. So it's mainly just something that we have a lot of different things kind of working towards the house that predominantly make it harder to detect the house and penetrate it in many different forms: psychic, arcanic, even in some respects deific pinpointing. If someone were to direct their divine energies into locating it, it would actually bounce back. It wouldn't really come up with anything. It would tell you that it exists. It just wouldn't tell you where or how to find it or even any close approximation. But I would say the most likely danger would be the mirror. If you were to use the mirror, that's your point of... Anytime the mirror is activated, that is the biggest breach. It's the only place that actually allows that sort of breach.
Okay. Okay. That's been extremely helpful.
Oh, good. Any particular reason? Oh, you told me the reason. I'm sorry. Just got a little... Liam...
Yeah.
Got me distracted on something else now. That I'm
No,
excited to see.
I have a plan. I need to kind of talk to everyone else. Your opinion included, since you are living in the house and I don't want to put you in danger.
That would be very appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah. But I will come up with that. I will let everyone know the plan. Once I have more information and whether I know I'm actually able to do what I would like to do.
It sounds agreeable to me.
So, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then I leave.
She goes back to work. And from there, you wanted to go to Stead to discuss with
Yes.
Moral. So you,
Yes.
turning to the city, you enter Stead, walking through the door. And again, it takes you roughly the usual amount of time to get to Moral. It's about 45 minutes. And as you enter the space, it's later in the evening. It's around almost 10 p.m. by the time you actually get there. So the shop is still open, but definitely looks like it might be closing soon. As you enter, the usual sort of desk clerk is... Yes?
Is Moral in?
She just indicates to the staircase at this point.
Thank you.
You
And I
walk
go up
yeah.
the staircase.
You walk up, and you find Moral. They are in their office, and seem to be. They've got like 3 different books out at the moment, and they are reading a 4th. Nothing. Not overactively reading, but seems to be sort of a light endeavor as you enter. As you enter.
Oh, I knocked because it's not my office, but okay. Yeah, I'll walk in.
The intention is you are allowed to enter. So
Okay, I walk in
okay.
as I already knocked.
I mean, they're paying attention to their book. They're not saying anything until,
I'll sit down. I'm never really good at knowing when the correct time to check in on people are.
Is.
But how are you? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at knowing how people is. But I don't think that's grammatically correct, but not the point. Anyways, how are you doing?
It's very kind of you. And what are you referencing in terms of my emotional state?
Well, I gave you some pretty bad news a few days ago. Not the news I was hoping to give you. And your outfit changed colors, and so I assumed that meant you were sad, and I maybe heard some banging when I left. So I just wanted to be emotional support.
Why? What does it
Well,
mean to you to do something like that?
well, as I previously stated one of the many times that we talked very long ago, I don't really have friends and family. I mean, I have friends now who are basically family, but I'm pretty much alone. And I know you don't really speak to your sibling. And this seems like something very difficult to go through. So maybe you want a friend? And I know this is dumb, but I think I was just intimidated by you, by how confident you were. Are. And I think you deserve someone in your corner.
I have had many friends. And one thing I learned by having those friends is the unfortunate eventual end of that. It doesn't always survive. It can be stronger based on certain things, but predominantly it will never survive time. I'm intrigued by your friendship, said Lally. If I'm honest, I can't say I can reciprocate fully. Example given, Brachus. We don't live in a kind world. If you want to enter my office and tell me you wish to be my friend, I believe you. You are much too curious to lie. But I cannot say the same. Because currently I don't know what it feels like to want a friend. You are more than welcome to sit with me, and we can talk, and we can drink, and we can read, and we can do friendly activities. I can't say I'm your friend. Yet. Who knows?
I don't know if I could honestly promise you forever, because I don't know what's going to happen to me. But I can promise you right now. I've made mistakes in the past. And this isn't me trying to right them. This is just genuinely me being here for someone who is upset and who's having to do this alone. And life's not fair, but that doesn't mean that everyone needs to go through it, living that unfair life. I don't really know either what it means to want a friend, but I could tell you what it means to have them. It means that on your best day and on your worst day, you can come to someone and tell them exactly how you're feeling, or you can go to them and just sit there and say nothing. And you and I have never seen eye to eye, so I completely understand you not wanting to be my friend just yet, or maybe even at all. But I am more than happy to sit here with you while you read, while you drink, while you mill about your shop, whatever you need. I'm happy to do that. Because I think if any of those people, my new family, I think if any of them ended up the way Brachus ended up, I would be destroyed. And I would hope that someone would be there for me as well. And then I'm going to put my hand on their desk like I'm trying to get them to hold it.
They take a bottle of wine they have, and they pour it in a glass, and they put the glass in your hand.
I don't drink, but I'll make an exception just this evening.
You will. That's a very fine bottle.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
I have nothing less.
So what are you reading?
I'm reading of the Bay of Kugrim. It's something I usually do when things like this happen. It's where it reminds me of what I almost lost and was able to have returned to me. And what I paid to get it back. Please, if you would like to read sometime, you're more than welcome.
Thank you.
You say I don't talk to Yvonne, and there are many reasons why not. But this is chief among them. This is the book she read that pushed her forward to whatever she decided to do. And I keep looking through it. and I have never found the passage that spoke to her.
Do you miss her?
When I read the book. It's the only time. It's the only place I can.
She's safe.
She's with you all. Of course she isn't.
She's safe enough. We don't really put her in danger. At least not
She's...
on purpose.
She is what she is. It's not... But what of you? What do you
What
leave?
about me?
What do you leave behind? There seems to be much more to you. There is.
Nope. I have...
That's a very convenient answer. I feel
have
like
left.
a friendship exchanges hard truths, do they not?
I mean, like everyone else, I mean, I have parents.
Do you have any siblings?
No.
What stops you from going home?
The fact that I enjoy living.
One and the same, then. Why do you... She kind of like indicates towards your robe, the sort of the insignia of Dolorath.
Mm-hmm.
What do you find in that?
Strength. The opposite of the life I had before this. I find acceptance. Not just for myself, but from myself.
That seems like a... Do you feel she speaks to you?
Yes. I would even go so far to say she chose me. But that probably sounds crazy.
If you really don't take a sip of that wine, I'm going to have to rescind the friendship.
Wow, whoa. Sorry, it's,
You have poison resistance. You know, like, you're...
it wasn't why I wasn't drinking.
There's so many
right?
layers to your... You're like... Tastes
you-
fruity.
You genuinely can't get drunk. You've got like a Wolverine situation.
Yeah,
going
you're
on.
just like, cool. Yeah, sure. Drink
I
it for the
just
taste.
knocked the whole thing back.
No, don't do that. Oh. Well, that's your
Oh.
drink for the hour, then.
Oh, that's okay. It wouldn't have really done anything to me anyways.
That doesn't make it better.
She's like, it's also just something you sit with.
Oh.
I like the idea that Salali got all of her views on how you're supposed to drink from watching Liam. Just like,
You just fucking knock it back. That's all you do. Drinking has 2 modes. The time you pick it up and the time you down the drink. Unless you have anything else distinctive you want to ask them, the rest of your
Not
time
that I
is,
can think of.
The rest of your time is pleasant, and there are moments where you can feel Moral is certainly guarding an answer or not saying something to a question or even just to a random comment. But more often than not, you actually feel a fair bit of genuine and honest answers coming from them. Can you just decide?
We're friends now! Yay!
Jesus. Fucking. Gotta do. You just gotta perform, everybody.
Look,
She did
a
a little
cat's
turn.
gotta do what a cat's gotta do.
She's gotta
Did
go on her
little
catwalk.
turn on the catwalk.
Yeah. She's about to do it again.
that was
Oh my god.
She's gonna do the exact same thing.
she's in a mood. Click whistle. We similar thing. You know your fence or the fence in Sestead is located in the. Oh god, is this about to be okay? Whew.
it's Moral. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. I walk in right behind.
You know that the location of the fence is in the basement of the Briny Swallow.
Ugh.
It's a bar. It's a bar located in the northwest side of Sestead.
Swallow.
Sort of a seedier bar. It's definitely a dive situation. But as you again, it's late night, so you getting over there. They've got their lights on. Everything's going. The bar is open. It is full, and it's a thing where as you go to the basement, that's kind of where you see it open up to more of a lounge type floor plan. It's much larger on the bottom floor than on the top floor. The top floor is more like a railroad building that has a full bar at that point. As you're walking down, it's full of unsavories and hive of villainy and scum, and you're able to pick out a few people that certainly eye you up and down as you're walking by, but as you come to the lower floor, you do see a couple of spots where you see one narrow hallway where there's 2 guards standing at the end, and that's fairly usual sign something's up. That's there's a couple indications in terms of their coloring that you always understand that that's usually the people who are who stand watch for the back entrance. Plenty of people here. There's 25 other people just kind of lounging about drinking.
Okay. Do I recognize anybody in particular?
One or two, maybe.
Any?
Just.
Yeah, but no one looks like my fence.
No. Again, the guards. You'd have to move through the. You'd have to move through the guards to get to the fence.
I thought it was a back door. Sorry, my
It's all
bad.
good. No, that's kind of what I meant. The guards are what you would move through to get to the fence area. I don't want to say the fence area, but where you would go to find your fence.
The fencing fences.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, I'll breeze on through or try to.
They kind of as you step forward, they put a hand out to stop you. And you give
so tempted to give it a high five.
you give the passcode, and they kind of step to the side and let you walk through. And as you come to the back, it opens out again into this sort of bazaar of a bunch of different like sort of like kiosks and things. It seems like a bunch of people just kind of sitting around, and there are different kinds of fences. It's like basically like a black market. You found the entrance into like this place where like you can find a lot of seedier elements. It doesn't take you very long to find where you would usually do like a drop off for like contract work. It's at the sorry, I gave them a name.
The salty swallow or whatever.
Well, the briny swallow.
Briny
is the name
swallow.
of the bar.
There we go.
But the drop off.
It's a real gross sounding name, man.
Briny swallow, man. It's a sailor bar.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Certainly sounds like there'd be a lot of semen there.
Lots of YMCA playing.
You good?
I'm great. That was it. Yeah, that was all of it.
Okay, good. It's the drayman. The drayman is sort of like it's the slang term in. It's the thieves' cant version of basically saying the fence. The drayman.
Okay.
Spelled D-R-A-E-M-A-N. The drayman. And so you're able to find them. They are the people that like give out all the actual contracts. They're the people that actually will. People go to the drayman to set up bounties, to set up these kind of contracts as well. It's also they are the person that like you would do these things through. So as you approach, you see it's like they've got like a scar, like it was like the hooked scar right here, but the eye is still good. It just is usually like in this like perpetual kind of like closed state as you step up, and it's a it's a half elf. Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm turning in an item.
What do you? Where's your contract?
I don't have it in writing.
I do have it. It's the thing. Yeah, it's the thing you got.
I went to go actually get the piece of paper.
Right.
Yeah. No, I do, and I produce the Thaddeus Brogg thing.
Takes it. You got the item?
Yeah. And I take the hand and the plans, put them on the counter.
Seems to match up.
Mm-hmm.
Thaddeus Brogg.
Missing under suspicious circumstances.
What does that mean? Suspicious how?
I got the arm. Man, I was trying to be all like dark and thievy about it. Like
Is he alive or dead?
I guess dead. Last I heard, he wasn't moving much.
Did you kill
Last I
him?
saw him, had a big old knife. Not me per se. There was we never want to take credit, you know.
So you didn't kill him, but he's dead.
Yeah.
And you have no confirmation on that. You didn't bring anything with you?
No, unfortunately, just the
Alright,
arm
it's
and the
just
plan.
gonna cost you. Alright. So, we'll send this out to the mainland instead. That should write out your contract, Miss Bird Person. That should also, any gold you were amounted to. He sets down a bag, and it's, by the sound of it, maybe like 50 gold. With no confirmation or no sideways about it, you might hear about it again. Don't be surprised if the higher-ups want more information. And if they do, I might get your story straight. And be a little bit more official. I don't.
Noted. No, of course.
All right. He sort of slams it down. He takes the plans and he takes the arm, and he turns away. Starts to take care of that.
Okay, cool. Thanks for your time. And take my money. I'm trying to get this thing out of my
right. You're like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
I'm just like, take it, just fucking take it.
Right.
All right, cool. Is there anything particularly interesting in the market at all? Anything?
Well, again, it would depend on what you would think is interesting. If you could be more specific, I might be able to tell you yes or no.
Sure. Sorry, that was super vague.
There are interesting things, is what I would say. It's like it's a black market kind of situation. So there's many things that you wouldn't see in a normal shop. There's also a lot of other things that are probably ill-gotten gains, right?
Cool.
So
yeah, I'm looking for like I kind of want to start trying to tip my daggers with poison.
Mm-hmm.
So are there any interesting little like poison shops around? Any cool looking daggers?
There are certainly a few alchemists down here who would specialize in that kind of stuff. To be fair, your bandolier does allow for poisoned blades, so you could supplement what the poison that is in there with other ones. It's a thing that can be exchanged, right? Like it's a thing that like you can replace whatever poison's inside it currently with a new one, and that can be. It takes the usage, a full usage of the other poison to continue to create it. So like, you won't be able to like, if you bought, let's say this, like if you bought 3 poisons, and you exchange one, that you don't have that anymore. It's in the bandolier. So if you were to do it again,
right,
you don't have the first one anymore. It's completely gone. So
right.
But yeah, there's an alchemist
it's
there.
It's like changing batteries.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, like right, like
okay.
you're gonna benefit from that as long as you continue to decide to have it. But there is an alchemist there that you could reason would probably be able to help you out.
Right. I thought the bandolier only did fire, so now that I know that it's poison, I don't really want to look for more poison. I'm sure that poison is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was like just fire. So lovely. So yeah, then I'll head back out sort of carefully, making sure, no one follows me from the bad place.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Now that I have 50 gold on me. Let's see. So that is 21.
21. As you're kind of making your way back, you do notice that like 2 or 3 of them whisper on your way out. And even if you take to the air, as you like get up, you do see them leave the bar, kind of like trying to see if they can find you. One of them looks up, but it's night, so they're having a lot harder time finding you. And you kind of see them like shrug to each other and then go back inside the bar.
Okay. I'm not gonna. They didn't catch me, so they can live. Head back to the mansion.
Yeah, it's like they didn't, they didn't think about, oh, yeah, I guess she would fly away. So.
Yeah. She's a bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. No.
Yeah, for the rest of your time, I mean, in this case, you want to head back to Harrow. You were talking about tactile work. Basically, Garen and the general again tell you that like building traps or the like is just not really what they're looking to do. They don't want to build structures that are going to be antagonistic, as well as potentially harm random passersby.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do want to work on though are quick functions of sort of like they have a bunch of lumber that they can use to build walls, and they want to build those kind of structures, and so they do have a couple places where they could use your help. Building snipers' nests essentially. So that's the thing that they do want your advice on, is things of like, where can we place these things, and help us structure them so that they can actually be part of the buildings, that they just sort of snap open like a window latch or something like that, and then it becomes like extra perches for people to kind of get to and be well guarded enough. If you have any other ideas.
No, that sounds great. I was just gonna try to be as helpful as a very weak bird can be.
Sure. I mean, it's not.
So,
it's one of those things where like you're not the best carpenter, but you are certainly because of physical capabilities able to help them out in other ways that like would require them to do more work, like pulleys and ladders and things like that. So you kind of you help them enact a lot of like stability and support that like is making the time go a little bit faster on projects like that.
Sure. Great.
Cute. Nameless.
Yeah.
You sort of waking in the morning, and I'd say you would probably, with the idea you have and the way you've reacted last night, you're more than likely waiting for everybody else to go about their business before you do what you're doing, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. You step out to the expanse after everybody else is gone. Close the door behind you. Is Panther with you, or did you leave him, or did you, I suppose, let me before you even step into the expanse, would you bring him with you, or would you talk to him first?
I think I'd talk to him first, and then I would go in to the room.
To the expanse, yeah. He's sort of
Where it happened.
In your room with you as well, and as you wake up, he's What's the plan today?
Well, I don't know if you really saw, because you were kind of small before. When we were running through the woods, I saw a pan flute.
Mm-hmm.
And Yvonne said that there was some god or something that was attached to it, or knew about it, or associated with it, or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I eventually want to go back there.
We're eventually gonna have to.
Okay. Well, that's really not very easy for me to do.
I didn't
Because
say
perhaps you
tomorrow.
notice a trend in me, and I don't want to die.
I didn't say we were going tomorrow.
Yeah, but even the idea of going in, like, 10 years is pretty scary right now. So I just want to know how to be ready for that. And I also wanted to know why I got to see that and what it means. So I would like to go try and talk to a god.
Do you want me there?
Do you think you can help? Not to be rude, don't think you can.
That
But
wasn't my question.
that is rude. I'm aware.
Maybe I can't. Go.
Oh, okay.
Find out for yourself.
Okay. That sounds good. Thank you for supporting me. We go down the stairs. I go down the stairs.
Yeah, he goes back to sleep.
He seems so mad.
Mm.
Watch him be the key. Oh, man.
Watch him be the key.
Watch him be the key.
Alright. Opening the door to the expanse. Shutting it behind you. How far do you go?
Far enough that the door looks tiny. And that the constellations and stars start, like, appearing.
Yeah. As you travel into the wide expanse, the sort of rippling effect of the floor, and seeing the gases and the sort of nucleuses of everything in the universe come into fruition. You sit down, catch your breath. And how do you want to go about this?
Well, before I do... Oh, I should have before I left, because magic doesn't work in here.
You can get up and walk out the door and come back. You don't have, like, a time limit.
Well, out of...
I would love that, actually, like... Oh, shit. I forgot magic doesn't...
But can I... If I, like, give it enhance ability to myself, will it then work there? Would I know that?
You've never tried that.
But why not? I only have 4 weeks of spells to use. Let's go back, and I'm gonna enhance ability.
You did it before you left. That's fine. I'm not
okay,
gonna
great.
force you.
I'm gonna give myself...
It's just funnier.
The owl's wisdom.
Okay. What does that enhance?
It gives me wisdom advancement.
Advancement is my favorite.
This is advanced wisdom.
Advantage is what I meant. Oh, you're nuts.
It's all good. It's all good. That was just
I lost
perfect.
my dice. Oh no.
Where's my gun?
lucky dice? Okay. So I'm going to go back, or I'm in there now.
Yes. It's the best way to start, honestly. Where's my keys? Phone,
Money,
wallet,
purse, wallet.
keys
Okay.
before I go into the expanse.
I really should eat before I go out there.
Like, she just keeps delaying it. I mean, the puppies need to go for a walk.
Might as well bring Ripper into the expanse.
So I am going to... Okay. Sorry, I wanted to read the...
Please.
Make sure
No,
I
please
had
do.
picked the right one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna sit on the ground or the expanse. And
This made me think of pants on the ground.
and I'm going. This is gonna be a mess. Anyways, I should have done the other thing, but well. I'm going to sit there and ask.
If you need help in interpretation, I can also help that too, if you just want.
No, I was gonna do something, but that was stupid, and I realized to not do that. I was gonna play the flute, but I decided against it. I don't really normally talk to religious people. Gods. You are, I guess. I have to eventually go home. Or, not home, but something that's supposed to kind of be like a home. And, I learned that your name is Corellin. And you kind of made yourself known to me. And I don't know if you even will come back to talk to me about it. You're really busy, I know. But I need help being better. And then I'm going to try to clear my mind. And like while you're like meditating, you know how like you focus on like a saying? I'm gonna keep focusing on the humming. Like I'm gonna keep internally humming the song I heard from the flute. And just keep focusing on that and my breathing and stuff.
Sure. Is your humming, meditating kind of lose yourself in it. And there's some peace to the quiet of the expanse. There's no sound of air. There's no tree rustle. There's no water skipping stone. No bird, no animal. The soft feet of a person. It's not, but it's also at the same time, it's not silence. It's not complete silence. It just is stillness. Things at rest. And as you continue to hum, you count for maybe the first minute or two. Eventually you just start to lose time. And you get lost in the feeling of it. And a smell hits your nose. It smells of fresh water hitting a bank. And you hear cattail weeds hitting against soft stone. And the feel of mud under your feet, under you, the cold earth. The cool earth next to a loving spring. And for a moment, you just open your eyes. And you're still in the expanse, but you feel and smell all of the same feelings and smells. But stepping towards you, maybe 60 feet out, you see the form of a sort of gray, brown timber wolf stepping through the expanse. Ripples with each step. It's very graceful steps as well. It's just one of these things where it's almost stalking you, but it is in complete sight. An eagle glides right above it as well, sort of encircling the wolf in the entirety of its pathway towards you. Doesn't seem to be making aggressive leaps towards you. It's very even walking. As it gets to about 30 feet away from you, the wolf pulls up into a humanoid form. And these great stag antlers rest as pauldrons. A half cape, muddied and glistening, looking like a camouflage of natural leaves. And every time it moves, it shifts between the seasons. A wooden mask, simple and striking, kind of pointed in. There's no design to it outside of the eye holes and just sort of a metal bridge, kind of right here. But in general, it's gives you kind of an acorn shape. And their ashen bow in their grasp blossoms with bountiful vegetation throughout its entirety of its form. Colorful and bold, they approach you. At this moment, they're about 10 feet away from you. And as they sit looking at you, seated on the ground, They kind of just the eagle lands on their shoulder, and a gloved hand just kind of like indicates for you to follow.
I stand and follow.
They turn around, and as they step forward, they kind of like place their bow on one of the seemingly distant stars and pull it down as it rips like a fabric tear. And they step through.
I'm gonna go through.
As you step through, you feel that same thing that you were just feeling, the cold earth. You hear the creak, and you see the creak. You're in a perpetual twilight. You see the cattails and the reeds. In the distance, at first what seems like that can't be that far away, that tree is large enough that can't be that far away. And as it starts to click in, the distance that it would take to reach this place, the tree's size starts to take in a full... It's the size of a country. Worked within every one of its roots and branches are the makings of every tree of existence. Give me a history check.
Dang it.
This is more of like this is kind of like a lore check. This is something where it's just like of the multiverse of the world.
A 7.
The masked figure indicates you to follow them again.
I do.
And you start to enter a wood, an actual forest of ash, and they start to kneel down and get into more of what you would know as sort of an animalistic hunter's pose.
I would do the same.
They kind of like, yeah, and every time they do something and they're waiting for you, they're just kind of like waiting for what you're going to do. And doing that, they continue to move silently, stalking. Every foot placed is decided, but it is not slow. It moves with a assuredness of body, but also a temperance of ability. This person's been doing this for a very long time. Their hand rests on one of the trees as they, and with their bow, they indicate down to you, down this sort of pathway of trees. And at the end of it, you see resting their head into a creek, drinking the water, a dusty brown wolf. And the figure just continues to point.
I'm going to walk towards it and go, thank you.
Walk towards what?
The brown wolf.
They're about like 120 feet away. I didn't say that. They're like far down this sort of alleyway of trees. Would you still try to approach? Just approach?
Sneakily, maybe? I don't know. Like in the same manner as like what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I would not say thank you then if they were not that close. And then I would probably instead look back for like approval. It's like that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
The figure doesn't move with you, and you see that they're no longer indicated, and they look like they're just waiting to see what you're going to do.
I continue slowly forward. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm so nervous.
The wolf does not react yet. You're 60 feet away. What would you do?
Maybe go like 10 more feet.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Go another 10 more feet, then wait.
At that,
if on the first 10 foot, there is any like head jerk, like I'm gonna do like 10-foot increments. If there's any 10-foot increment, if there's like a look up or a certain move, then I'll respond. I will say something.
At the first 10, you get a sort of starts to pay attention. At this moment on, if you want to continue to move forward, you have to make stealth checks if you want to continue to move sneakily. It doesn't seem to be alerted to your presence, but it seems like it might know something's around.
I'm gonna say this to... Oh, I hope I don't mess this up. Oh, I'm so nervous.
You saying this to who?
A wolf. I'm saying this out loud to myself, but as nameless, I'm gonna say. My name is May, and I would really... I need help being braver, being a better friend. I don't know why I'm seeing you, but I don't want to hurt you. May I approach closer?
The wolf moves 10 feet forward. You're 40 feet away right now.
I'm going to kind of keep my hands out, like, to show I have nothing. I was led here after asking for help. I'm going to take a step forward. If ever I do something wrong, please let me know. I've not done this a lot with...
It starts to take a step back.
Okay. That I would probably get to my knees and like kind of do what you do with an animal where you put your hand out.
It moves forward
I
a
can
little.
stay here.
It comes back to where it is. Where it was originally.
I say.
It sits. The wind continues to blow. Even just a glance backwards shows the masked figure is still watching and waiting.
I don't... The whole entire irony is right now I'm so scared to make a choice. In fear that I'm going to mess this up.
The wolf walks forward 10 feet. You are now 30 feet away.
I've had so many chances to grow. And I feel like I keep taking a step backwards. And I just need someone smarter than me wiser than me.
Takes another 10. You are now 20 feet away.
I just... I don't know. I wish I had the right words. I'm so sorry.
Takes one more 10. At this point it sits.
I'm not a big fan of names, but are you Corellin? Okay. Can you help me? Do I have to solve some puzzle to get this?
Except for a wolf, it would be like...
Yeah. The wolf shrugs his shoulders.
I'm not the best at puzzles. But I'm not the best at a lot of things actually. But
Starts to take like a step back.
I am sorry. I am good at reacting emotionally and knowing what I want, sometimes to the point of being a little bit too stubborn. And I know that I want this. I want to be a better friend.
Comes back.
A better person in the world. I always seem to make the wrong decisions or upset the right people.
And sits back down.
I don't know what you want me to do. Please? Thank you. Can you talk? I don't know.
It starts to turn its head to look away.
I don't see. Am I supposed to like reveal some deep dark secret? I don't know.
It's just currently sitting 10 feet away from you.
I'm gonna try to scoot forward a little bit. I don't know what to do.
As you scoot forward, he doesn't move. He doesn't budge.
I scoot a little bit more.
You can scoot. But as you get to about 3 feet, it does start to like...
I stop. And again, I try extending my hand like you do to a dog.
It kind of waits, looking directly in your eyes. An amber colored eyes. You want to be better? Better than who?
Me. What I am right now.
And the head rests in the hand. And then kind of works its way into this portion to kind of like nuzzle you and start to hug you. And as you hug back, close your eyes, the form loses its fur and gains a form, and as you open your eyes to look at it, it's you. Holding your own hands. And it presses its head against your head.
I do the same. I mirror.
And as you're back in the expanse, and the masked figure is standing in front of you. And then deep, sort of warm, however standoffish voice says to you, "Interesting choice.
What do you... Thank you, but I don't know what you mean. Could you please elaborate?
He kneels down and reaches out his hand.
I take it.
And he stands you up. You changed what that wolf was.
I did that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get why, though. How? I wanted an answer. I didn't want to look at myself.
Maybe it's gonna take some thought then. But you changed that wolf. You let her become what she really was. Imagine how many other wolves could change. And they turn and start to walk away. They don't like disappear, they're just walking away.
I don't know what to say. I'm both me, nameless, both me, Chelsea, don't know what to say. So I think I would just let him walk away.
He walks away. And you are...
Under my breath, I'm going to mutter that I should have brought Panther, because he probably would have gotten it. I'm gonna go back to get Panther now.
And with that,
Go.
we are going to call it for
Help.
tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks everybody for coming around to play.
Thank you.
Riddles and riddles and riddles and more.
God.
Enjoyed having you here. Again, and congrats to whoever won that supplement. You better flip and enjoy it. Otherwise, Jess and Keith are authorized by our lawyers to come to your house and force you to enjoy it by any means necessary.
So if I were you, I would join the Underground Oracle Discord and let them know what you're doing with that supplement, so they know that you're making good use and enjoying.
If you don't go,
I imagine them like standing behind people role playing and like moving their hands like ghost style.
Yeah,
that's how I imagine them like making you enjoy it.
I think
somebody playing the people who are playing chess.
Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you so much.